What's up, YouTube? Today I have a Glock 22 right here. It's a 40 caliber edition of the Glock. It's a Glock 22 Gen 4. And today I'm going to take it apart, show you just the basic features of it, wipe it down a little bit because it needs to be wiped down. I'm not going to do a thorough clean of it. I'm just going to wipe it down, make sure there's no brass shavings, and make sure there's no dirt, no carbon buildup anywhere. Just kind of clean it up a little bit, lube it up, and then put it back together. Alright, so the first thing you want to do with any weapon that you ever pick up is you want to make sure it's clear. Okay, so what you're going to do, finger off the trigger, you're going to pick it up, and you're going to hit this button right here, which is the magazine release. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to hit this button right here. This button. Okay? So you drop the magazine. Okay? And yes, there are bullets in here. So this is why we clear the weapon, because you didn't know that. Alright? And then you want to point the gun in a safe direction, which would usually be, at the ground, away from anybody, away from housing, away from anything. The safest place is in the dirt. I'm going to clear the weapon. I'm going to let the round go wherever it wants to go. I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to observe the barrel. Okay, or I can pull it back and lock it into place with a slide lock, which is this button right here. Right there. There we go. That's the slide lock. Okay, I can lock the slide to the rear, and I can look down the barrel and see. Okay, there's nothing in the barrel. It's clear. Okay, so I'm going to either hit this button right here, push it down, the slide goes forward, or I can just pull back on it and let it go. Okay, so now that the weapon's clear, let's take it apart. Alright, to take apart a Glock, you have these little ridges, these little rigid tabs, rigid tabs right there. Okay, and they're on both sides of the weapon. Okay, so the weapon's clear. Okay, now you need to squeeze the trigger and barely pull the slide back. You'll hear a little click. Then you're going to pull these tabs down, and then it just comes right off. Okay? So now we have the lower receiver, which has the trigger housing in it, and we have the upper, which is the slide, the spring, and the barrel. Okay, your firing pin and housing and is in here. It's all behind here. You have to take this back plate off right there. That comes down and all that comes out. But I'm not going to do that. Like I said, this is a quick wipe down. So you take the spring off, and then you reach in here, and you pull the barrel out, and there you go. The basic parts of any Glock is your lower receiver, the slide, the barrel, and the spring. That's it. I'm going to start with the barrel. I'm going to grab a rag, just a big rag, and I'm just going to wipe it down. Make sure there's no shavings on it. Kind of wipe down the chamber right here. Make sure there's no carbon buildup on the chambering. Quick wipe down, okay? Spring, same thing. There's really not a whole lot you can do to the spring, but I'm going to wipe it down. Okay, the slide. My fat fingers can't fit in there, so I'm going to grab a little white cloth. It's a little dirty because I used it a little earlier. I was wiping down my other Glock a day or two ago, but it's not completely bad. All I'm doing is trying to get any kind of carbon built up and just wipe it off. Okay? If you don't clean these things for a while, that carbon will really build up in this slide, and you'll have to take like either a brush to it. Worst case scenario, you'll have to get one of these on it. But I clean mine enough. This is actually my duty weapon, so this weapon stays clean because I need it to perform. And Glocks are very reliable, even when they're dirty. But I want to keep it clean. That's just my preference. And you can fire this thing over and over and over and over again. Never have a malfunction, never clean it, but just in case, I'm going to keep mine clean. So you wipe down here. Make sure that looks pretty good. Make sure there's no debris. Okay. So my cleaning stuff that my wipe down stuff, cleaning stuff I'm using is actually from an old M16 kit. I do not actually have this magnificent cleaning kit that I use or anything. I mean, I have enough to get the job done. I'm gonna actually purchase one soon enough that, I mean, has everything. Bore snakes, you know, proper things to really get in your weapon good and clean it. But for now, I have the things that is necessary to get the job done, and that's really all I need right now. Just get the job done, get it wiped down, get it clean. Okay, so there's the barrel. The lands and grooves and everything in it. You can't really tell, but it's actually a little dirty. So there wasn't a whole lot, but there's just enough to tell. You know, I raised it up to the light. There's just enough to tell that I have some carbon buildup. Gun cleaning patches gets the job done every single time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Q-tips are your best friend because they can reach where your fingers cannot. So in the lower receiver, so you'll see that go back. You really kind of want to wipe that area down. You want to make sure there's no debris in the way because that's what makes the gun work. You know, that's how your bullets fire. See, there's a little bit of dirt in there. And these things will not lie. They will tell you, you got some issues. So make sure that's good and clean. You got to be careful too because it's spring loaded. So there's a spring in here. And if you've ever gotten Q-tip cotton stuck down inside of somewhere where you can't reach, it sucks. Because you are trying to pull that crap out forever. I speak from experience cleaning the M16. I carried the M16, I carried the M249 saw. You know, cleaning those weapon systems using Q-tips and getting that stuff stuck down in the trigger housing of the M16. No bueno. Not good. It sucks. Because you cannot get that cotton out of there. I mean, it's just terrible. Okay, so now that we're done wiping it down, let's put it back together. Well, let's lube it up first and then put it back together. The basic part of lubing your gun is you want to get the points that contact each other. Okay, so like let's say there's here, I'll show you. There's lines where, okay, you see this little silver, you can't because of the glare. I don't know if you can really see the scratch or not. Kind of right there. That little silver line right there, that's where metal is contacting metal, okay? So when this barrel sits in here, that's where the spring is contacting. So you want to kind of lube right there. Not heavy, you just want to lube right there. So anywhere that the weapon contacts itself, you want to lube. Okay. End of this line back, like you want to lube your barrel all the way around it. Okay. The barrel, then the slide. You got the grooves right here in the slide at the bottom, right here and right here, where the weapon contacts the lower receiver. Right here. Those are places you want to lube. So set it up like this with the back of the weapon up, and you're just going to put a drop. Just put a little bit in there, and you're going to want to let it run all the way down that slide right there, all the way to the bottom down here, and it'll kind of build up on the bottom. Another place you want to lube the slide is right down here at the very, which would be the very top, but on the inside. Okay, because you're going to have contact there where the top of the barrel, this little square lip right there, you know, the top of the Glock barrel, right there, you can kind of see where it drags a little bit right there. It actually makes contact with the top of the slide when you fire it, because it comes right back. So you're going to want to put some there, and you can tell once you've used it enough, you can see how far it exactly goes, and that's where you want to lube it. So I'll put a drop right there, just a little bit, just enough. You know, people, you may ask, well, what's just enough? That little drop is just enough. I'm going to take my, oh, this Q-tip's clean, and I'm just going to work it around, all around. You don't have to, like, it's not like an AR where you have to heavily solvent this thing, where you have to heavily, you know, lube it up, because inside that, and I'll show you that as well, but inside the AR, you want that sucker lubed, and I mean good. Okay, so there's two main parts on the slide. One main part on the lower receiver, and right there, half of the barrel. Okay, and then I'm gonna put some on this Q-tip because I don't want to drop a whole lot down there. That little piece I told you in here, you kind of want to put somewhere the metal where it contacts each other. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. Just kind of coat it. Doesn't have to be crazy or anything. This thing's awesome. This is the first time I've used this. This lube right here was given to me. It was given to me by a friend. You want to kind of work that in there. So you pull the trigger, squeeze, pull the trigger, squeeze, pull the trigger, squeeze. Okay. And what I'm using is Lucas Oil Products Extreme Duty Gun Oil, Maximum Heat Resistance. It's really, really good, especially running the AR. Really good. Really good. I like it. It's got that little needle nose on the end of it where you can really get into where you want to put lube. Okay. Alright, so let's put this gun back together now. Okay. Very simple. You go in reverse of how you took it apart. But if you don't remember, grab the slide. You're going to grab the barrel. Okay. So it goes in just like this. You're going to have the little thing right here, the grooves and everything, facing up. Slides upside down. So naturally it would look like this. Okay. You're going to slide it in there, okay, and it sits just like this. Okay. There's the barrel. The barrel's in there. So you can see what it looks like right here. Serial number, everything. Just like that, okay? And then obviously your spring goes next. You put your spring in there. And there's two little lips here on the end of this barrel. It goes on the furthest down. So the closest to the actual barrel. Alright, just like that. And you turn it up like that. Grab your lower, the grooves, remember? You just match them. You slide it all the way back, and you rack it. Now it's put together. It's ready to fire. That's basically taking it apart, wiping it down, lubing it up, putting it back together. Make sure it functions properly. Rack it, squeeze the trigger, rack it again, squeeze the trigger, rack it again. I mean, it works. Obviously the firing pin's engaging. You can test the reset. Heard the reset, fire it again. So the gun functions properly the way it's supposed to, and that's it. Just a quick, simple, basic video on how to take it apart, wipe it down, lube it up, put it back together. If you want to see anything else like this, if you know, like I said, I got the AR. I'm actually going to have to learn how to really clean a bolt action rifle, because from the last video, it's the first time I ever fired it, so it's obviously going to be the first time I ever wipe it down or clean it. But if you want to see the AR on basic, taking it apart, wiping it down, cleaning it, putting it back together, functions check, all that stuff like that, let me know, because I mean that's what I did in the military. So, and I just, like I said, I love guns, so I love to take things apart, especially dealing with guns. And again, this is the Glock 22 Gen 4. And really good handgun. Like I said, it's the full size to the Glock 23. The Glock 23 is the compact version of this weapon. So so it's a little bit shorter. It's about an inch shorter in length. Maybe not a whole inch, but it's there. So, but anyway, guys, like I said, you want to see anything, comment below. Let me know, and I'll do it. I'll take guns apart all day. You know, if there's a gun you want to see and one of my buddies has it, I'm sure they'll let me do it. You know, it's good to have friends. You know, it's really good to have friends. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Maybe if I just didn't get it stuck. I'm a professional, guys. Don't worry.